Robert Woodson is the president and founder of the Woodson Institute, a frequent guest on the show and a very wise man, and we're proud to have him tonight. Reparations is, as you know, a resurgent idea on the left. It's suddenly popular. At least one presidential candidate, but two, I think, Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, are now calling for reparations. Is that good or bad?
It's the most ridiculous proposal that I ever heard. First of all, it's important to deconstruct it a little bit. Reparations, you know, the question is who pays and who gets paid. People don't realize that it's slavery. There were blacks who owned slaves as well. There were 3,700 blacks that owned 12,000 slaves. Now, 3 tribes, the Chickasaws tribes, the Creek Indians, they own 3,500 slaves. So the question for me and for the audience should be, well, who pays? Do the sons and daughters of those blacks and Native Americans that own slaves, do their ancestors, do they pay? And so it's a little more complicated than people are making. What about the whites who came here after slavery? What about the hundreds of thousands who died fighting again in the Civil War who never owned slaves?
Right.
And so I just think that we ought to take this into consideration when we're talking about slavery. It's also providing exemption from personal responsibility. With all of the problems that Black America has, for someone to say that the answers to those challenges are external. Let's just say we accept the premise that reparations should be paid. What problem does it solve? If whites paid blacks money on Monday and we come back 2 weeks later, what would be the impact on black crime? What would be the impact of drug addiction, about the high dropout rate? And so I just think it's lethal for us to just talk about a simplistic remedy so we can do virtue signaling on the issue of race and appear to be champions. What we have done at the Woodson Center is we believe you should look into the Black America's past and find out how our ancestors achieved against the odds where there was racial inequality and income disparity. We built hospitals, we built schools, we had solid families. And so it is important for us to not to look back, but also to look at what are our strengths. And frankly, Tucker, I'm going to say I think Black America needs to abandon complaining about what happened in the past and begin to address the enemy within. That's the challenge we face today. And we won't do that as long as we're looking to the people we say who are our enemies to be our liberators. Right. It's just ridiculous.
Robert Woodson, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.